kind of hoping for a retaliation jam by him. He made it 300. Interesting. Never folding ace king here to him. So, yeah, if he does have a pair, then that's unfortunate. But we have the same hand, so going to chop here. Slight free roll. That'd be exciting. Just to give you guys an idea of the kind of hands that Wedlow is limping from the button, we'll take a look at what he did limp there. And I think this is a key hand to ship. The hand after the blinds go up. I think it's that we're going to take that down a lot because we've played pretty solid here at these larger blinds. The hand that Wedlow limped was pocket 9, so he's actually trying to trap us. Queen 7, shipping this pretty often. We ran into his ace 8, so gonna need to get a little lucky. Now we're down to a queen or a 6, and we missed. So that's unfortunate for us. Got a little bit unlucky there with our ace 5 losing to his king 10, and this isn't not really unlucky, but just the sequence of hands is unlucky. So we had this for the win, our queen jack against his ace king. Couldn't find our way out of that one, and our queen 7 suited versus ace 8. So we're gonna win that match a pretty high percentage of the time. Probably I'd say 90% maybe. But when it doesn't happen, can't really fret. It's poker. Alright, we got to focus on these 2 matches now. Make up for this. Royal has just been really aggressive against us. So is Mifflink. So we just want to flop top pair once or twice against Mifflink. And we're going to play back here at Royal. Like our hand a lot here. So we're going to bet 90 on it. And he folds. Defend with the jack 10. Pretty good flop for us. Content to check that down. I don't really like that river bet. I think that's an ace. Really high percentage of the time. I would have been more apt to call if he'd done something crazy. I'm just going to fold. Play it safe against him. Fire out this bet against Royal. Now once that Wedlow-Jones match ended, we've started to pick up a few hands here against Royal. Playing back, not playing as much on autopilot. Which I don't recommend if you're not comfortable multi-tabling. And even I sometimes just go into those modes where I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing, and I don't recommend that at all. Like there's one thing to say about volume, but if you're not 100% focused on the match, then you probably shouldn't be playing it. Going to lead out here against 420. Now we have 2 6s against Mifflink. I really think he could be doing this with a baby pair, or we're off to the races. And our stack's not too good right now, so I think we're going to call here a lot. Even though this is a pretty, it's pretty marginal. I think that we're going to see 5s, 4s, 3s here a lot, and a hand like ace. Hands like ace 10, ace jack. So you can also see 7s or 8s, but we're going to call. And he has king queen. So 3, 4, 10, 3. And I think we won that one. Yes. I always look for the fold to any bet. If that disappears, then you know that you lost the match. So it's pretty nice to not ever lose races either. It makes it pretty easy to call with those hands. But I I normally would not recommend calling off your stack with those hands, but against a player as spazzy as Mifflink, I think that it was the call there. This hand, he probably doesn't have an ace too often, so we're going to play this flush draw pretty fast. And if he gets it in, so be it. We will definitely have outs. I'm just going to fold trashy hands like Queen 5 against him. Really want to be patient in getting our spot as good as possible. So, going to 3-bet with the intention of calling all in. And now we've flopped a great flop, so let's hope that he does something crazy like shoves all in again. No. Well, we're going to raise him pretty quickly and definitely not fold this ever. But he folded, so. I think our dream card on the turn would have been an ace. That would have really been a card we can get a lot of action with. Just going to check behind this king high. Still does have some decent showdown value. Don't really believe him here, but again, don't really want to be calling down with hands like this against a guy that I think we can get it in pretty good against, so. Just flat here. And that's that kind of autopilot mode. I'm usually raising a lot from the button. Like, against a random opponent, I'd usually just raising a lot on the button and trying to dictate action. But against Mifflink, I really don't want to be raising with very, very marginal hands. I really want to get it in good against him. So I'm just folding a lot of hands that normally I'd recommend that you should call with, because you do flop a pair about a third of the time. And how am I letting him just win all these pots? I want to put myself in the best possible situation against him. So that's why I'm making some what look to be marginal folds, but it's all working out to the big picture of hopefully trapping him in a big hand with a big hand. But we don't want to totally just fold every button. So we'll mix our play. We don't really want to triple it too often with marginal holdings, though, because he's let out at almost every pot. If you've checked him, if you've given him the rope, he's letting him hang himself. We just need the hand that we can call him with. So it looks like I'm playing super nitty, super tight, but we're just being super patient. Just going to play really fit or forward, just straightforward. Hate these min raises against these kind of players, but all right, now we're going to check behind our top pair and hope that the turn comes a safe one, which it did. Hoping he bet there, but he didn't. He called. And I don't really see us getting much value here, so we're just going to check behind and take the pot down a lot. Now he actually riveted straight, so that hand sucked for us. I think he's pretty strong here. We're just going to call it the nut flush draw. River helped us a little bit against a hand like King Queen, but I think we're behind here almost all the time. Whenever he thinks about it and then decides to throw out the min raise, I think we're behind here a lot, so it's just not worth getting involved. Now we're becoming a little too tight against Mifflink. Like, we need to... I'm expecting jacks, 10s here. No, fives. Okay, wow. So that river did help us. Interesting way to play. So we have to start stepping it up. We've waited a little too long. That straight hand, it would have brought us back to even. But those hands don't always go your way. So we're gonna have to start getting a little more aggressive here against Mifflink. And be willing to gamble a little bit, because we can't just let ourselves blind away. This is so close. I think he just has ace 3 or a lot. I don't really want to go up against. I'm just gonna fold for now. I'd much rather be shoving with that hand than calling it off, especially when that's the first time he's just open jammed from the button. That has to be a hand like ace 3 through ace 9 probably. Shoves again, and now he's got us over 3-1. Just keep folding. Pretty frustrating. Gonna jam this king queen against Royal. Against his range, I like the way our hand plays. We're gonna get a lot of folds, I think. But he actually does have a hand, jacks. Let's see if we can river. No. Okay, back to even in that match. And folding every imaginable hand against Mifflink. So now we're going to limp in here and see if he doesn't jam and just try to take this down on the flop. Which I think he's going to... Wow. Just going to fold. Don't really want to go up against a flush draw. Or I think he'll have a queen X a lot. This match really... This just goes to show you that that was actually our first hand we were going to call with. Like, we tried to establish a really tight strategy against him, not jamming in the queen 8 suited. And if you get too tight, then this is what happens. These overly aggressive players who, I'm not going to say he has no idea what he's doing, but who typically don't have really a clue what they're doing, can just run you over. And that's what may or may not have happened here. Definitely calling here. If he has an 8, he has an 8. It's unfortunate. And he does have an 8. But we couldn't fold forever. And we lost that match. So, pretty shitty loss. Don't really like the way I played that match. Especially toward... We tried to get our money in too good of a spot, and we really lost. We really wanted him to control the tempo, but as you look at this, he won an unbelievable amount of hands a row. This is just inexcusable. It's just looking at this. This is terrible. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 hands in a row he won. We're going to jam this ace 7 here against his button min raise. 21 hands in a row, that is awful. And our stack went from... That is awful. Stack went from 1720 to 585, which is that's just catastrophic. And then in the last hand, we're definitely calling this in because we saw him shove the king jack earlier, so we're definitely calling that against him. Hate the way I played this match. That just goes to show again, even the players who are playing the higher sit and goes, they don't always play brilliantly. They don't always make the right plays. This is one of those matches, just pretty shitty match. And a lot of these pots aren't even. They're just letting him have it. No resistance. Don't really want to play 9-6 off in that spot. Yeah, we'll look at the biggest pots and see if we can improve. See where we can improve. This ace king just a standard going in all day every day, especially against someone who has that skill level, or so we think. We did win a flip to get back into it. Couldn't really take advantage of it though. This is the ending hand, and no pots where we've lost over 210 chips, except for the final pot and the flip, which is just him totally taking over the pace of the match. Just bet, and I know he doesn't have a hand every time, but I wanted to wait for a really premium spot to just trap him, and it didn't turn out that way, unfortunately. Yeah, this is the hand we got rivered by the straight. Not really a big deal. Went check. The Jack 10, we were trying to trap by checking twice and just praying that he had any piece. A 2, he's probably calling us this size check raise. Just praying he had a piece, but he didn't. Trying to go for value here with the 2-8s. Missing. Actually going to raise this one quickly and obviously fold to a shove, but I don't think he has a king here, and we're going to make him. I don't think he has a 10 there either. And yeah, we're just going to make him make a decision if he wants to play. I think he's just leading out small there with a lot of hands. This is a spot where, against Mifflink, this is a spot where there can be a small argument for making a jam there, because that will look just like, that will be Jack 9, Jack 10 a really large percentage of the time. But then again, it could be a hand like Queen 9, Queen 10, 10 9, a decent percentage of the time. So I don't mind us folding here, but I'd expect him to have a jack in his hand a lot. Not folding the ace queen here to royal. Going to be ahead a lot here. Going to be racing a decent amount here. And he actually had ace king. So these matches, well, we ended up chopping that. These 3 matches have not gone so well. We really don't like our play against Mifflink. Got a little bit unlucky. Actually pretty unlucky against Wedlow to lose that match overall. And I've pretty much been getting run over by Royal here, and just got fortunate to double up and stay alive. His min raise, we're jamming against that with the ace high. And expect folds there pretty high percentage of the time. Now we'll min raise ourselves with the a6 and folds. So our stack's not too bad. We're at 1265, so we're not in too bad a shape. And jamming again pretty standard. I think he's getting a little frustrated. So that's a pretty wide raise by him, and he calls with the 2 4s. And we want another flip. Or not another flip, we want a flip. So we have him in good shape now. Just gotta hope to hold him off. Try not to get it in a flip or worse. Jamming this Jack 9. Gonna expect folds a lot here. When he calls, he might call lighter. But yeah, expecting folds a lot. A call from any king, any ace, obviously. Jamming in the ace 4 suited. And now we're priced in to call with any hand. We have ace high, which is nice. We're priced in to call with any hand. It's 190 to win pot size to win 350. So it's pretty standard, pretty auto call, and fortunate to win that match. Just going to decline the rematch and end this video. So in summation, got a little bit unlucky against wide low. Those matches happen. Going to win those probably between 85 and 90% of the time with the hands that we're given. Really hate the way we played against Mifflink. That just really don't like that. I'm probably going to review those hand histories myself later and really think of how I let the tempo of that match get away. And made up for it by getting a little bit lucky against the last guy we played on full tilt. So I'm signing off. Take care, guys. Have a good night.